Here we have the full automatic wheel painting machine. Basically, this machine takes the hassle out of painting a wheel, but also increases efficiency and decreases paint uses. In this specific video, I would like to showcase the machine itself, walk you through the process itself, and actually show you how easy it is to use and what brilliant results that this machine can generate you. So first of all, what we do here is that we select the automatic mode itself. Once we have selected this, we need to input some quick measures for the machine to understand what wheel it actually has to process. In relation to these figures, it's rough estimations and not necessarily within the millimeter, so within a few centimeters. What we have done in this case, we've preloaded all of the different settings that we need to tell the machine. This is now done, so we press continue. What's quite important around this machine is that it's really easy to use, so you just are guided through the steps, step by step by step. In this case, there's a safety disclaimer. We press accept. Once it's accepted, like this, it asks us now to load in the wheel, which we have already done in this case. Now it asks us to tighten the wheel. We have also done that. Now it comes to the selection where we need to select what material we would like to paint. In this case, we press the edit icon, and now we select if it should be the front or the back. But secondly, what's really, really unique around our machine is that all of the presettings for each individual material is already preloaded. So basically what we do in this case, we just tell the machine what material we're working with, and then it knows all of the correct spraying settings. In this case, we're spraying with our 3-in-1, which is basically our primer, base color, and clear coat all in one product. So I select the 3-in-1. Once the 3-in-1 have been selected, I then select if I want to paint the front and the back or both. In this case, I want to highlight or want to do both parts. And then once we've told the machine this, it's just about pressing play. Now it asks us if we are allowed to change the current holder, which is inside of the machine for the aerosol, to the spray gun, which we accept. Once this is accepted, the machine automatically flips the wheel around for the back side for it to actually go over and put the gripper for the aerosol in the holding position, and afterwards picks up the spray gun. Keep in mind, this is done fully automatic, and I, in principle, could leave the machine now, and when I come back, the wheel will be fully completed. So what it does now is with our quick shift system, that all of the air connections within the head of the robot itself then goes over and grabs the spray gun. When it does this process, what's quite unique is that all of the different air connections within the head of the robot is actually already pre-established. So this means that I don't have to do any manual interventions with the machine. Now what it does is that it sprays the back side first, and then it flips it around and will spray the front. And as you can see with the robot, you get quite a coverage throughout the whole wheel due to the fact that a motor is spinning the wheel as well as it's rotating the wheel upside and downwards. That means that the robot have access to all the different corners and edges of a wheel and can complete the wheel from start to finish without any intervention. Now it flips it on the edge to paint the edge of the wheel, so you have full coverage all the way around the wheel itself. And that means that the coverage that we're generating here is not something that you could replicate by hand. Right now, it's then going through a drying process of a wait time of 4 minutes. That's due to the specification of the material, that between coats you need to wait around 4 minutes. In this case, I'll just jump it and lower it down to 40 seconds. In 40 seconds from now, the machine will then automatically pick up and continue the process with the second coat. In this case, we selected 2 coats of material, and that's because that's specified with the 3-in-1. What makes this machine unique is that it has a footprint of 1 meter times 1 meter. It runs on 220 volt power. It has built-in ATEX approved exhaust systems, but secondly, it also has a really easy interface. All of the components within the machine itself is all from Schneider Electric, and Schneider Electric would stand for a high quality of components, and with that we have built some really intuitive software. Throughout this process, while it's painting, I'll then guide you through what the machine also allows you to do. So when we look at the wheel repair process itself, the fact that the painting part is typically the most consuming part because you both have to paint the back and the front of the wheel. That means that you need to wait in between curings to do each part of the process. What this machine allows you to do is to go over and prep another wheel, or to cut another wheel, or alternatively to take the wheel off the vehicle while it's painting. Second of all, it also minimizes your paint consumption with 50%. And the reason for that is because we have a controlled environment of how we're spraying. So we know exactly the different spraying patterns that we are utilizing, and that means that there's no excessive overspray within the machine itself. The machine itself actually also has the ability to actually replace a painter. So to operate this machine, you don't need to have any knowledge around painting a wheel, simply because of all of the preloaded settings that we have developed from the get-go. What makes it unique is that based on only a few parameters for a wheel, that it actually knows the exact spraying pattern. With the machine, you're getting an increased output of wheels. You're also getting a much healthier and safer working environment because it's fully enclosed, so all of the dangerous odors and VOCs are fully encaptured within the machine itself. What we recommend customers to do is either hook it up to a existing spray booth system with the outlet fan, or alternatively connect it to one of our filter banks or smart walls to actually be able to absorb the VOCs that the paint are generating. Now what it will do, because now we have painted the back side of the wheel itself, it will then let the spray gun put the spray gun in the resting position, and then go over and pick the aerosol gripper again, and then it will pick up the infrared curing lamp to cure the material that we have just sprayed. And again, it does all of this fully automatic without any interventions. What it does as well while it's doing the curing, it also lowers the airspeed inside of the machine itself to reach a higher temperature faster, but also to have a lower energy consumption. If you compare the energy consumption with our fully automated wheel spray paint robot, it actually is dramatically less than what you would normally find in a spray booth setup or any other conventional setups. In the machine itself, we can also see the full process of how long it takes throughout the complete process itself. So the operator is aware of how far in the process the machine is. The machine itself also has what we call a preheat function. So that means in real life scenarios where you're taking the wheel off the car itself in colder climates, it's actually quite cold. And to spray a room temperature material on a cold surface can create kind of a problem. So therefore, we have built in a function in the machine where we utilize the infrared light to actually be able to preheat the wheel to the desired temperature, and therefore we can actually process the wheel faster. Now the machine rotates the wheel to the front of the wheel for it to process the front of the wheel. Now the machine will start with the edge of the wheel, and thereafter it will do all of the individual spokes and the inner side of the wheel itself. In relation to the software itself, we, as in all of our machines and our equipment, we've built in a full diagnostic system as well. And basically that's to support operators if there's an error occurring with the machine. He can identify the error himself and resolve the issue right there and then without ever having to reach us. The machine itself gives you diagnostics such as when to change the filters. It gives you diagnostics such as if the wheel has a rotation that the machine doesn't expect. And due to the fact that the robot inside of the machine is what is called a cobot. A cobot is basically where it's allowed to be working in conjunction with a human. So that means that there's sensors throughout all of the individual links of the arm itself that basically stops the robot if it's hitting something without doing any damages. That really allows us to have a hassle-free operation with our machines. Also, what you will notice is that a lot of the componentries within the machine itself is actually 3D printed. And why did we go with 3D printing? And that's basically so from an after-sales point of view that a component can be printed instead of having to be shipped across the world to support the equipment. Now it did like it was when it was painted in the backside of the wheel. It flips it so it can get coverage all the way around the corners, which is quite important for the durability of the process. Now it has completed the initial layer, so layer number 1 out of the 2 layers that we selected. To speed the process up, I'll decrease the weight in between the layers. Now in 20 seconds, it will then continue the process. The machine comes standard with all of the different accessories that you need for the machine itself. So that means the air connections in the front. If you want to use a sander or spray the spray gun beforehand. The machine also has what we call a manual mode. And a manual mode is basically where you can utilize the wheel holder itself, but holding the spray gun, like with our semi-automatic wheel spraying booth. You can clearly see by the different icons of what part of the process that the machine is doing at the moment. And right here you can see that we're spraying the spokes, which correlates with what the machine is actually doing. And we believe that instead of putting a lot of text in the machine itself, an icon says more than 1,000 words, and that's why you would recognize a lot of the explanations, etc., are done in icons to increase the ease of use for a new operator. At the surface, the machine looks extremely simple, which it is. But what we have also decided to do for more experienced operators, we also have a more advanced mode where you can change different angles and you can change different parameters as you wish. So you can both have it running extremely simple, but you can also adjust things as you desire to get the result that you desire. But out of the gate, it's fully preset. It's just to select the products that you want to use, and then it knows exactly what you need to do and how it needs to do it. And now it will go up and put the spray gun at its holding position and then go over and grab the aerosol gripper and then pick up the light and do the curing. The machine itself, in this case, we're spraying with a spray gun. It can also be loaded with a primer, a base color, and a clear coat, and can do the process by aerosol solely as well. We've also made a special type of aerosol where it's called an upside down aerosol. An upside down aerosol basically allows you to get more utilization of an aerosol. And the reason behind that is in an aerosol itself, you have a feeding tube, and by removing the feeding tube and turning the aerosol upside down, that allows us to get higher utilization of the paint that we put into the aerosol. Of course, we also have all of the associated filling machines, paint cups, and extension tubes, etc., for the robot itself. So it's a complete solution from start to finish without any hassle. And right now it's running through the curing. What makes the 3-in-1 product quite unique is that it cures in 10 minutes from start to finish with an infrared light like this, a 1 kilowatt light. The machine is also equipped with a UV light as well for curing a UV primer or a UV clear coat as well. With the machine, you can also select if you want the wheel to be vertical or horizontal after it's done completing the process. In this case, we've selected that we want it to be vertical, and the reason being is that we're jumping a lot of the steps and to see the coverage before if we decide if we want to have an extra coat or not. And basically now the machine is done painting both the back side of the wheel and the front side of the wheel.